Sorry, just a second here. It is 3:31, and I will call this meeting of the special meeting of the Lansing City Council to order and ask that the clerk, please call the roll. Let me unmute all of the council members here.
Councilmember Betts.
Here.
Councilmember Dunbar.
Councilman Dunbar is present.
Councilmember Garza.
Councilmember Garza is present.
Councilmember Hussein.
Here.
Councilmember Jackson.
He's here in multiple forms. I'm not sure which ones. Oh, that's Brian Jackson. Sorry.
Yeah.
Councilmember Jackson is here.
Okay. Councilmember Spatafor.
Present.
Councilmember Spitzley.
Councilmember Spitzley is just joining us now.
Okay. And Councilmember Wood.
Councilmember Wood is present.
Okay. We have a quorum.
Very good, thank you. So what we're going to do now is a meditation and a silent pledge of allegiance to yourselves. If there's anything you'd like us to reflect on during this moment, please, if council members would let us know. Is there anyone who wants to keep anyone in our thoughts and prayers? I would like us to reflect on the hospital healthcare workers that are working daily to keep us safe and healthy throughout this pandemic. Councilmember Spitzley, let me unmute you. There you are. Go ahead, Councilmember Spitzley.
Thank you. Unfortunately, I have several members of my family that are suffering with COVID. My great uncle is in Chicago on life support with COVID. So just a general prayer for everybody who's suffering, and a prayer for and a thank you for our first responders. Thank you.
Thank you. If you all would just please pause for a moment. Thank you, and I'll lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That went smoother than I anticipated. So let me just do a refresher here. We're going to do public comment in just a moment. But council members too, you need to make sure that the participant view is open on your screen. So move down to the bottom. There's a participant window. Open that up, and you can raise your hand there by using the raise your hand option. Or if you're on the phone, you can dial *9. On your Mac, it's Option Y, and on your PC, it's Alt Y. Those are on the agenda as well. We're going to try and have everybody muted who isn't speaking to avoid open mics. So we'll use the raise your hand function, and I will call on you when it's your turn to speak. So right now we are going to move to public comment on agenda items. And I would just like to cite Rule 18 of the council proceedings does allow the council president, presiding officer, to remove disruptive participants in a public meeting. We have interpreted that to mean that if someone becomes disruptive through the electronic medium here, that we will mute them, and if they continue to be disruptive, we will remove them from the meeting. Without any objection to that ruling, we will move on to public comment. So I see a number of folks here. If you are wishing to make public comment and you are on your phone, please dial *9. If you are on your computer, please use the raise your hand function. Again, on a Mac, that is Option Y, and on a Windows PC, that is Alt Y. The public comment today must pertain to the extension of the declaration of a state of emergency. I will give you 30 seconds to raise your hands. Thank you. The public comment period for this meeting is now closed. The next item on our agenda is the consideration of legislative matters and is a resolution for action extending the declaration of a state of emergency regarding COVID-19 to April 30th, 2020. This does coincide with Governor Whitmer's recent announcement that the Stay Home, Stay Safe, Save Lives order is extended through April 30th, 2020. Council Vice President Hussein, you are now unmuted.
Okay, first and foremost, I believe, Councilman Spatafor, I heard you say April 20th. This would actually extend the emergency order through April 30th, correct?
April 30, 2020. Sorry, I maybe emphasized the year too much.
Not a problem. What I'll do very briefly for folks that do not have the resolution before them is just discuss a little bit of the language within the resolution, and then I'll move the resolution for action. On March 16th, Council approved the Mayor Shore's declaration of a state of emergency, and we actually extended it through April 10th. It's been really the new normal at the state and federal level. Things quickly changed, they evolved, which set the stage as an example for Governor Whitmer's Stay Home, Stay Safe order on March 23rd, and that was to extend through April 13th. This, of course, followed Governor Whitmer's state of emergency that was declared on March 11th, and that was to expire on April 7th. In recognizing that COVID-19, really the concerns surrounding COVID-19 pandemic continue, the legislature, at the request of Governor Whitmer, did extend the state's declaration of emergency through April 30th. That obviously set the stage for what just came down the pike moments ago, and that is Governor Whitmer extending her original Stay Home, Stay Safe order, which is a shelter-in-place order, through April 30th. We in the city obviously recognize that we have continued concerns with regards to our employees, with regards to our operations, our businesses, our residents, et cetera. And so what we are looking to do today is to extend our local state of emergency through April 30th as well. So that is the language that is reflected in the resolution before you. And that is also the date, that is included in the resolution before you. So with that being said, I would move for the resolution extending the declaration of the state of emergency through April 30th.
Thank you, Councilmember Hussein. So there is a motion before us. Is there anyone that wishes to provide any input or discussion on this at this time? I'm seeing none from council. Councilmember Jackson, I don't see you on the screen. Let me find you here. You're good? All right, very good. So let me just have the clerk call the Councilmember Dunbar. Let me unmute you here. Go ahead.
Thank you. We've had a lot of questions about what under the order is still being done by city employees, like who is still working under this order. Could somebody give some verbal as to like what are there crews out on the roads? Are there people doing any kind of repair work right now that can still fall safely within the 6-foot distancing? Like just for the public to know what departments may or may not be available to them during this time.
Mr. Mayor or Deputy Mayor Harkins, would either of you like to take that? Mr. Mayor.
No, I can take that. It's a longer question that I'm happy to answer. Yes. Well, first, everybody's still working. The city facilities are shut down, but everybody's still working and everybody's getting paid. So folks who can are working from home. We're working with technology, doing our best. Not everybody is working, but everybody that we can have working is working, whether they're home or not. We do have, under the executive order, public infrastructure is allowed to continue. So we do have crews out, and they are absolutely under very safe protocols with separation, with cleaning products, with masks, with everything they need. So, you know, our police officers are still out, our firefighters are still out, our inspectors, our code inspectors are not, although we're working through that because after a month of premise inspections not happening, we're getting a lot of complaints. So we're working on how to do premise inspection, but from the street and not sending anybody inside a house to keep our employees safe. We still have employees at the wastewater plant. We still have parks employees that are out making sure that the trash is getting emptied and things at parks. And we still have crews out working and we're keeping everybody safe. I've got a whole list, department by department, that we are working through. The courts are still, they're closed, but they're still doing some work. And the courts have separation, and I believe they're moving into the lobby at City Hall whenever they need to make sure they have appropriate separation. We've got some of our employee finance has to have people in cutting checks, so they rotate through. Treasury is still accepting taxes, so they rotate through to make sure that we have proper separation. Again, the cleaning's being done. We have, you can't have janitors clean the bathroom every time someone goes to the bathroom, but we have products and cleaning wipes and things like that. So we do have folks that are working, whether on site in trucks, some still in offices, but as many as possible at home, working from home. If there's anything that I missed, there's any specific instances that you are asking about, I'm happy to address them. But that's how it's working right now. And I'd say we are one of the more conservative cities throughout the state. You know, we're not doing construction inspection for any projects going vertical, because we do not believe that's allowed under the executive order. Other cities are, but we believe that the executive order only allows for infrastructure work, for public infrastructure work, and not construction work. And we're following the governor's executive order.
Okay, I appreciate that. And I think the clarification is helpful for folks. Do we know if we have any departments that need more PPE? Do we have what we need for folks? Is this something like, as a municipality, we have a stockpile of? Do we like have masks and gloves for everybody? I'm thinking of our particularly frontline, like police and fire, for them, because who's going to get the call for stuff during this time?
They've been provided. And I mean, do we have enough? We could always use. We did have, a supply for normal usage, and we've had PPE delivered, and we've been able to get from the state. Our emergency management folks, William Engleter, who's our emergency management director out of fire, has been fantastic. And so he's getting the PPE as we get it, and getting it to our first responders, while also working with our hospitals and working with frontline employees, folks who are out in public service and others, to make sure everybody has the protection that they need. So we have. It's not to say that we couldn't use more, and we've got these drop-off boxes we put out because people wanted to do homemade masks, and believe it or not, some people are dropping off N95 masks, so we can sanitize those and reuse those. So I don't know that I would say we have everything we need. We've got a significant amount. We needed hand sanitizer for a while, and now we have businesses here in the city that are producing hand sanitizer, so that's great. So we could always use more, but we have enough to provide for our folks. And I'll also mention that our area is very innovative, and we're working with the city of Lansing is part of the MedTech group that LEAP actually formed, and we're working with a variety of companies not only to produce much of this stuff, but also to do things like autoclaving. MSU is looking at how do you autoclave the old masks so you can reuse them. So there's a lot of innovation going on right now, and we're getting everything we can. We started ordering before we shut down facilities. We started ordering, but everybody is. So we're working through our emergency management to get the PPE and materials and to distribute it throughout our city, and then we work with the county emergency management to make sure that everybody's able to get that.
Okay, so when I hear we have what we need right now, but we can always use more, does that mean every one of our frontline folks has access to them, or are they?
Yeah.
Okay, are they doing the reuse? Like, is this something that we need to be looking at? Where do we get this stuff from to add?
Our staff is, sorry.
Go ahead.
Our staff is all over this. Our emergency management is working with our police chief, our fire chief, our public service director, and anybody else who's got folks out in the field. So I would not call the panic button, but we're providing to those who need, and we're acquiring more because we'll have more need. Okay. We don't know how long this is going to go on, but I expect it's going to go on for some time.
Okay.
Thank you, Councilmember Dunbar, Mayor Shore. I did see Councilmember Spitzley had her hand up as if she was trying to get our attention, but she's gone offline for a minute. So are there other? Oh, there you are, Councilmember Spitzley. You're muted. Hold on just a second.
I'm sorry. I'm still working
Sorry?
on this technology thing. I can't raise my hand electronically, so
That's fine. I saw your hand.
I think my question was asked by Kathy. I just wanted to make sure, Mayor, that our workers had the proper protection. We've gotten a couple emails expressing concern, and I think I'd sent you a text message about that. So I think Kathy has addressed my concern as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we tell employees to talk to your supervisors, talk to directors, make sure to run that up the chain. If they're not getting it, if they're not getting it, then we tell supervisors, tell directors to tell us, and we will do our best to procure it from anywhere we can. And I got contacted recently from someone who had a variety of masks they wanted to donate, so we're going to arrange for a donation. So that could be really helpful. I've gotten some complaints also, some people who are upset. They want more cleaning products and things like that because they want to make sure that that everything is clean. We've had some people say there should be more janitorial. We're doing our best with janitorial. They're out and they're doing a lot of work, but we're also providing wipes and things so people can wipe doorknobs. And before we left, I was wiping doorknobs and wiping tables and things. So we're providing those. We're asking folks to chip in. And to be honest with you, I think a great vast majority of employees have been just fantastic in terms of pitching in and doing shift changes and things to keep themselves safe, but staying on. Our firefighters, our police officers, they've really been incredible. Our employees have been incredible, have really risen to the challenge and are really doing some incredible work keeping our residents safe. I'm tremendously impressed.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilmember Spitzley. Councilmember Dunbar, are you all set? You got your mic open.
I figured you were the one to mute me
Gotcha.
again. I thought you controlled it, so.
I gave you all privileges. I have to figure out how to do that so the council can do it as well. Are there any other questions on this issue before we call for a roll call vote? Okay, I'm going to have the clerk do a roll call vote and make sure you're unmuted when he calls your name to signify your vote. Looks like you've all pretty much got there. All right, Mr. Clerk, please call the roll on the resolution before us.
Okay, on adoption of the resolution, President Spatafor.
Yes.
Vice President Hussein.
Yes.
Councilmember Betts.
Yes.
Councilmember Dunbar.
Yes.
Councilmember Garza.
Yes.
Councilmember Jackson.
Yes.
Councilmember Spitzley.
Yes.
Councilmember Wood.
Yes.
There are 8 yeas and 0 nays on adoption of the resolution.
The resolution is passed unanimously. Thank you very much. We have no excused members. Are there any council members that wish to make remarks this afternoon?
Can I make one?
Oh, Mr. Clerk, yes.
Thank you, President Spatafor. I do just want to make sure that members of the public know that the City of Lansing does not have a May election. We've been contacted by a number of members of the public concerned about voting. We do not have a May election. Our next election is in August. So we will be working on safety measures in advance of that. But again, the City of Lansing does not have an election in May.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Mayor, anything from you? No? Very good. Well, with that, at 3:49, our first virtual meeting of the Lansing City Council is adjourned. You all have a great afternoon, and we'll see you Monday. Thank you.
Thank you.
You.